right, a very good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Hi, hello to everybody on this really wonderful afternoon on a Thursday. My name is Kim Pong, and I am the CEO and founder of Strength Asia. At Strength Asia, at the very core of everything that we do, we help organizations here in Asia, in Asia, build a culture of engagement here. And by culture of engagement, it simply means, how do we help people, how do we help leaders, managers, and executives, become more energized, become more satisfied, become more influential and impactful in the work that they do and in the relationships that they have here. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Strength Asia and our talk series number 3. 4 R's of the new era. And by the new era, we are really talking about, the current, COVID season that we are in, and, getting into the post-COVID season. And that is definitely going to come. The vaccine is just going to wipe that sucker out. And eventually, I think we're going to be, back to a healthy environment all over again. So once again, my name is Kim Pong. Welcome, to our talk series number 3. And, we started this series sometime last week. And there were 4 R's in this new era here, and that's to re-envision our business, to restart our workplace culture, to reframe and to reinvent the individuals and the organizations all over again. So today, it's really my great privilege. I'm really excited to be sharing with everybody, the second talk of the series here, which is to restart your workplace culture here. And before I start, sharing, what I've planned for everybody today, I want to share with you a really quick story that I heard, or rather that I saw on a movie that I watched sometime last week. In the last week, I was really in that mood of watching the old movies that I watched, some years ago. So I decided to get onto Netflix, and I found Catch Me If You Can by Leonardo DiCaprio, a wonderful movie here. And the opening scene, was the father of DiCaprio's character, talking to a whole bunch of people, and he was telling the story of 2 little mice. And he said, 2 little mice fell into a bowl of cream, and the cream was really full, and the mice were drowning, and both began, struggling like crazy, trying to get out, from that bowl of cream, right? And one mice, after all the struggle, decided to just give up, and he was drowned in that bowl of cream. Whereas the other mouse, refused to give up. He was trying different kind of strokes, different kind of ways of paddling, different kind of ways of trying to get out into the bowl. And the harder he tried, the harder it gets. But over time, that cream became butter, right? And it became hard enough for the mice to step on the butter and eventually be able to get out from the bowl. So I guess the moral of the story is this, right? We are all in this big fat bowl of COVID cream right now, and everybody's paddling like crazy, And I guess the moral story is don't give up, because eventually it's going to solidify and we are going to be able to climb back out of the bowl here. I thought we would start, the restarting our workplace culture sharing, by looking back, into history. When we look back in history, it gives us a little bit of context in assuring us that whatever we are doing right now, it is something that, we're not doing this alone. Whatever we are going through right now, it's happened to other people before. So I think, viewing history in context really do give us assurance, as what has been and what is to come here. So let's start with something that's a little bit more recent, and that is Airbnb. Now, Airbnb took 12 years to become a company that's worth $26 billion. 12 short years, they became a company of $26 billion. And when COVID-19 hit the planet Earth here, right, what happened to them is that in 6 weeks, they lost 80% of their revenue here. Now, that is crazy, right? 12 years to build a company up to this level, and within 6 weeks, 80% of whatever you have, they disappeared here. Well, that is recent history. Let's look back further into history as to the last 50 years of all the crisis, of all the different things that's been happening to this world in a really bad way here, right? 1981, the AIDS virus hit, the planet. And at a point in time, I remember, people were just not familiar with what AIDS was all about. How was it being transmitted? Was it infectious? And it created a very huge sense of fear and insecurity everywhere we go. 1997, it was the Asian financial crisis that happened, in Bangkok, Thailand, and flowed down all the way to the rest of Asia here. And it took us, I guess, almost 10 years to get out from that crisis here. 2001 was 9/11. You knew what what happened. And in 2007, the global financial crisis, and that took us a long time also to get out, right? And here in 2019, COVID-19 pandemic, and here we are. Now, as we look back into, all that has happened, the crisis and all that, and we look at COVID-19 right now, and COVID-19 is actually termed as the hugest and the largest and the most probably evil and devastating, crisis, that's ever, hit people on planet Earth here. And yet, when we look back into the history, we can be comforted by a few things, by what we see. First of all, everybody do suffer as a result of all this crisis here. But eventually, at some point in time, people begin to refine their footing, and they begin to restart their business, restart what they have lost, restart what's been misdirected, restart everything that they knew about, and eventually sooner or later everybody recovered. So it is good to know that eventually whatever we are going through, we will recover. But the precedence of recovering is to restart here. And today we are talking about restarting our workplace culture. Now, COVID-19, the disease, has brought on many sufferings, to many people, to many businesses around the world, as you and I know here. And when Eric Schmidt, I'm sorry, for a moment I was just trying to recall his name. When Eric Schmidt, right, was interviewed, he said something. COVID-19 actually, is a gift actually to the world here. Why? Because he says COVID-19 is not just piled itself upon us as suffering, but it's given us a gift of perspective here. What it's actually done is that it's brought forward 10 years of change. Well, within a few months, it brought forward 10 years of change. And what he meant really was this: what would normally have taken years for us to realize that, hey, we actually can work from home and be productive. What would have taken a number of years for us to realize that, we actually can have Zoom conferences or video conferences all over the world, and we do not need to travel, and yet we can be remotely productive and collaborative. These are things, that would have taken years to realize, but COVID made it happen in a matter of months. At the same time, with the perspective, right, it allows us to see, the upheaval of societies, the upheaval of supply chains, and the experience of a pandemic today that we thought will never ever happen, for a very long time. And yet, here we are. Now, besides this give a perspective, right, that's given us a glimpse of the future from previously. Today, as we look forward, it has also given us a glimpse of the future that is to come. And this is, something that's given me a little bit of struggle here, right? As in, then what do I do? Do I hold on and do nothing right now and wait for this whole COVID thing to blow away and then get back to business as usual? Or do I, start planning for things right now as if the old normal is not going to come back, and we are going to be super ready, right, to get out there, and claim the future for our own here. And the struggle, to be honest, really gave me a sense of confusion here. I do not know really what to do. So very early in this year, when COVID hit, I realized that some things is going to change forever. The way we work, the way we shop, the way we travel, the way we live, the way we collaborate with one another, that's going to change forever and ever and ever. In fact, the CEO of Airbnb, Brian Chesky, right, he made this comment. He said that, a lot of things that we realized during this, COVID pandemic are some things that we have known about ourselves that cannot be undone anymore. So, for example, a number of you probably didn't realize that, you were really, really good cooks until you're staying at home and cooking all the time, right? And a number of us didn't realize that, gosh, actually the neighborhood store is selling a certain kind of grocery item that I do not need to travel all the way to town just to buy it. Now, all this knowledge about our surroundings, about our gifts and our talents, because of COVID-19, working from home, lockdown and all that, there are information and knowledge and experience that we can no longer undo. And this has a major impact on what of our view and of our response to the future going forward here. In other words, the old normal is not going to come back. what's going to happen is completely brand new. So because of that, the decision was set. I become a lot more set on the direction going forward, that the new normal is here. I'm going to restart everything that I know of so that I'm prepared for what is to come. And with that, the head is clear, the heart is steadied, and the hands are ready, to restart and to get into action, to get things done all over again. So there are 5 things that we can look at in restarting workplace culture, and I call this the 5 P's of workplace culture here. Number 1, it's about restarting our purpose. Number 2 is about restarting our people, our place, our process, and our products here. So these are the 5 P's of restarting at a workplace culture here. Now, before we get into this whole nitty-gritties of the workplace culture, what to do, what to look at and all that, right? I want to come and talk a little bit about, culture, the definition of culture. I think every one of us, I guess we do understand, the meaning of our workplace, right? It's a place where we work, it's a place where we congregate, it's a place whereby we come together to get things done productively here. But what is culture? Now, if you think about it, your definition of culture and my definition could be very, very different. And because, this is a conversation about, focusing on workplace culture here, I want to make sure that you and we are on the same common platform here, and to make sure that we are right. So anyway, I did some digging. And I went to the Merriam-Webster dictionary and to find out what the meaning of culture is all about. And this is what they say. That's what they say. All that. I wasn't sure when the music is going to stop, right? Well, as you can tell, a lot of definition on what the word culture is, right? So I guess you can see my point as to why, I'm quite conscious about, hey, let's get the definition right. So I want to break it down to really, really simple so that you and I can really understand this very well. I think culture essentially means 2 things. The first one is this. All right. So culture means, it connects. It connects people. It brings people together. That's what culture is. It is that ethereal thing. It is that glue. It's that little whatever thing, right, that brings people together and connects them, right? Now, the second thing about culture is this. This is what the other part of culture is. It separates people. It breaks people up. It keeps them apart. So culture is that little thing, that invisible glue, that platform, or whatever you call it, that connects people, or it separates people. All right. Now, I'm going to give you a little bit of an image, right, a metaphor for you to remember, so that it makes it a lot easier to say what I want to say, and it come to you really, really quickly, right? So anyway, so our culture, what is that? Culture is like a bridge, right? It is a bridge that essentially connects people. That's what it is. It's a bridge that connects people. So what is workplace culture then? Well, the workplace culture essentially is a bridge that connects people for the exchange of ideas and information for productive work together. It is that bridge that connects people so that there's free flow of information, free flow of ideas. People feel, empowered, and they're trusting enough to kind of show people their ideas and information so that they can come together to independently or collaborative do productive work together. In other words, a good bridge is good culture that connects people to work together, right? And again, Brian Chesky of Airbnb, he says this, right? When the culture is strong, you can trust everyone to do the right things. People can be independent and autonomous, and they can be entrepreneur. And I cannot disagree with that. I agree 1,000% with that. By the way, what happened to Airbnb? 80% revenue dropped through the roof, right? Well, the good news is this. They restarted, whatever that was lost by focusing on their culture of serving their clients in the best business focus that they always had, right? And that is host offering properties for people who wants to travel. And they found out something really interesting, guys. They found out that during COVID-19, even though people cannot travel, people still wants to get out from their houses. And what happened was this. Their bookings for houses, for properties around where people are staying went up like crazy. And today, as we are talking, their bookings are back up, to pre-COVID-19, drop of the 80%. Imagine that. So in other words, what he's saying is this, right? You don't have to travel thousands of miles on an airplane to go to a strange property. Today, especially in America, people are hopped in a car or one tank full of oil. If they can travel that far, they are willing to go that far to stay on a different property. That's what's happening to Airbnb here. So a good culture is a culture that connects people. What about a bad bad bridge or a bad culture? Well, a bad bridge is a bad culture that separates people from working together. Now, worse still, a bad bridge separates people and causing people to either intentionally or unintentionally work against each other. That's why you see all the politics, you see all the mistrust, you see all the suspicions, right, in organization. When you send something like this, you know that there's a problem with the bridge, in their organization. So for you, what is your bridge like? What is your bridge like in your organization with regards to the 5 P's here, right? Is your bridge connecting your purpose to your people? Is your bridge connecting your people to the rest of the other folks here? Is your bridge providing a really wonderful environment to allow your people to thrive and prosper? Is your bridge, creating a process that connects your people to your customers, to your products here? Is your bridge, creating the best, in-class products that is relevant to your customer base here? What does your bridge look like? And when it comes to restarting our workplace culture, when it comes to restarting our bridge again, there are 3 things that we can do. The first one essentially is this. We can actually clear the bridge. That's right, you heard it right. We clear the bridge. Clear the bridge of all the things that blocks it. Clear the bridge of all the things that get stuck in the way, right? Clear it. And the second one is to upgrade the bridge, make it better, right? And the third one is to build a brand new bridge. So 3 things that you can do, to restart your culture all over again, right? To restart your bridge all over again. Clear it, upgrade it, or build it. So let's talk about clearing right now. Clearing our workplace culture. Essentially, ask yourself, as you look at your culture, as you look at your bridge here, what is blocking people from interacting with one another? What is causing people to slow down in the process of decision making? What is making people so difficult in having that ability to come together to make things happen here? These are the things that you want to clear. And I want to introduce to you a term that everybody already knows, and that is the sacred cow here, right? What are sacred cows? You recognize sacred cows by language such as, oh, we have always done this before, we have never done it any other way, or yeah, that person is always like that, there's nothing you can do about that, oh, this is how we have done it, and we are not really, don't know how else to do this, right? All this language refers to what we call a sacred cow. It's always been there, people take it for granted that it's there, and nobody questioned why it's there. And do you know, what do we do with the sacred cows? We do this. We kill it, right? We murder the sacred cow, right? We take it all away. We get rid of it, right? So that's the whole idea. Clear, clear the blocks, clear the thing that slows down the traffic, kill the sacred cow here. And there are 2 things that we want to talk about regarding this. Number 1, it's purpose. And number 2, it's about the people. Let's talk about purpose first, right? Purpose. Take down that picture. Now, let me explain what I mean by that, take down that picture. Now, who amongst us in our organization has a purpose statement that is hanging pretty on a picture frame in your office or is somewhere on your website? And then the tragedy is this, nobody actually knows what it is all about. Nobody cares. Nobody knows what it's all about. Now, ladies and gentlemen, that is a sacred cow. It is time to kill that bugger, right? Take it down, right? And clear that choke point here. And ask yourself, how can you come together as a team to begin to figure out, what that purpose is? What is the new collective own mission and purpose is for your company? And one of the things Strength Asia does with many organizations is using a methodology called Lego Serious Play. And we use that, right, which is about using Lego blocks, right, and bringing people together and helping them figure out collectively, what they see, vision together. And in other words, help them figure out what is their shared purpose, what is their shared mission, right? So that's just one way of doing it. Yeah, there are many other ways to figure out what your purpose is. But my point here is this, don't let your purpose be hanging on the wall, doing nothing. Take it down, refresh it, and make sure that everybody knows what the purpose is, because the purpose is your unstoppable motivational force and your why for getting people to move forward and do things together productively and well. That is the bridge you want to clear here. The second thing is about people, and it is about should the act and not the person. Now, I think during this time in the new era, it is time to really stop tolerating the people who are habitually, having bad attitudes, bad habits, toxic thinking, limited thinking, and fixed mindset, right? It is time to stop tolerating all these kind of actions here. And I say, look, should the act, but not the person. And see, the thing here is this, right? Before COVID days, all these things already are in existence. So why now, right? Well, the whole idea is remember what Eric Schmidt, the ex-chairman of Google, said, that COVID, fast forward 10 years of development here, essentially this is what's happening. COVID has put on a magnifying glass and has turned on the tap of urgency, right? To make sure that everything that we're doing today, if we don't do it, is going to cause severe consequences if we don't act on it. In the past, nobody cared because we had time, we had money, and business was still rolling in. And yeah, I guess people can tahan or can kind of take whatever inconvenience that's caused by people with bad attitudes and all that. But today, hey, that is a choke point. That is slowing your process down. And the new era is going to move much faster than you and I have ever known before. Clear the choke points. How do we do that? Coach the people, mentor the people, engage professional help to help your folks, be able to get past, get past the limited thinking, get past their fixed mindset of growth, get past bad habits, get past, toxic thinking here. Help your people by coaching them, help your people by mentoring them and by training them here. All right. So that's clearing your bridge. The next thing here is to upgrade your bridge here. Now, so to upgrade your bridge simply means, right, looking at your bridge in your organization, what is it that is going really, really well? What is it that is working out actually quite fine, even during this era, right? And then asking yourself, hey, what other things can we do to make it even better? What other new features can we put onto the bridge to make it more efficient? What other, new buttons that can we put into this thing to make it a lot more powerful, a lot more smoother and all that, right? So there are two things that again we want to look at. One is people again, and the second one is the place. So let's talk about people here, right? Help them to become stronger and not just be better. Help your people to be stronger and not just better. Now, one of the things that COVID has brought about is this flurry of training that all of a sudden, every company is getting into, right? I know Singapore government has given us millions of dollars in Skills Future, and a lot of companies are sending people to be trained and all that. Now, nothing wrong with that. I think it's a good thing. However, I just feel that, you probably want to focus, on what people want rather than what you need when you're training them, right? So a lot of times we are sending people for training because of company needs here, but we are totally ignoring what our people want. Now, why is that a problem? Simply because of this. If our people are being trained for what the company needs, I guarantee you they'll become better. But just because they become better does not mean that they will become stronger. How is that? Because just because you know what to do, you're very good in doing certain tasks or whatever, doesn't mean that you know what your direction is, doesn't mean that you are confident of yourself, doesn't mean that you are really energized or satisfied in whatever you're doing, right? But if you help people figure out, hey, what is it that you want? And you help them acquire the capabilities of what they want, they become stronger. And my observation is this, right? My observation is, when people, become better in what they do, they don't necessarily become stronger. But the reverse is true. When they become stronger, they're definitely going to become better in what they're doing here. So spend time, talking to your people. What is it that you want? Maybe I want to have better communication with people. Maybe I want to have the ability to make some decisions in this area here. Maybe I want to be able to given the chance to develop a new product here. Well, if that's what you want, what do you need? You get the point? One precedes the needs here. All right. So the next thing here, place. They know where work better best. Or let me say it again. They know where they work better best, right? Or maybe say they know best where they work better, whichever way you say it, right? Now, place, what does this mean? One thing I've learned, in this whole period of COVID-19 is that I've learned that, people can really be trusted. People can really be relied on to do amazing, productive work, even though they are not working together with me in the office. I mean, my team in Strength Asia, I am so absolutely proud of them. Every one of us are working, in our homes and working off sites, but we are moving so many things in the last few months that I look at the productivity, I look at the outcome. I was just like, my gosh, how did we do this? So they have taught me that, this whole, idea of working remotely is possible here. I heard a tragic story just the other day about a different company here. When COVID circuit breaker in Singapore happened, the lockdown happened, everybody works from home, right? Then the minute the government lifted the restriction, the boss of that company insisted that everybody comes back to the organization to work here. And the reason is a really simple one. Because he feels that when everybody was walking away, he wasn't able to track the performance or the progress of people. I find that pretty tragic, actually. It's about resisting change here, right? So anyway, fast forward here. Look at what your people are doing, where they're working from. I feel that people are really productive when they have the power to choose where they want to work from here. And if that is the case, right, what can you do? Right, to upgrade the capability of your folks and my folks here so that they can be even more productive, even more engaged, right, working in the places of their choice here. So upgrade your bridge, your place here. They know where work better best, right? And the last piece here is to build new bridges here. Now, it's about, right now you got a certain culture, right? But hey, what about, trying something brand new here that brings a new, fresh paint, to what is already existing and creating a new environment, a new culture, a new way of engaging one another here. So build your bridge. Again, there are two things, right? People one more time and products here. I want to talk about people. Now, you notice that people exist in all the three different categories here. Why? Because people is really at the center of everything, that all of us are involved in. You don't take care of them, everything blows up. You take care of them, my gosh, they're going to surprise you, with commitment, with ownership, and with productivity here. So people, old habits need new ways here. Now, I want to share this in the context of a little bit of my own personal experience here. So what are old habits? I guess it's things that we do all the time that we take for granted, and very seldom do we actually notice it. And about maybe 18 months ago, I was thinking about, this is way before COVID days, but I think when COVID came, it gave me the great opportunity to say, let's go full hog and let's do this all the way, right? So 18 months ago, I was really thinking about something that we always do, right? And that's talk. Now, we talk to people all the time, and to be honest, we don't really think about how we talk, we just talk, right? And if you think about it, very often when people don't like each other, it's because we probably don't understand what that person is saying, or we don't like what that person is saying, or we feel offended by the person in what they were saying, right? Now, at the end of the day, communication is really, at the center of everything that we do here. So one of the things I was thinking about here is, right, what new ways do I need regarding this topic called talk here? Well, I say, look, maybe we should learn how to talk skillfully. Maybe we should learn how to talk in such a way where people understood our intentions, right? I mean, how often did you say something and what you said, your intentions was not being understood correctly, when actually the opposite happened? People hear you for some things that you don't intend to say. Doesn't make sense. So talk, right? It's common. It's an old habit. But how can we talk skillfully? How can we acquire new ways here? And a couple of weeks ago, I shared with you a company called Soundwave here, right? And the reason I shared with it is because I personally, together with my team, we benefited tremendously from investing into Soundwave. It is not an expensive tool. It is a very, very cheap tool, right? But it's loaded with data that allows us to use the data to help us learn how to have great conversation, great dialogue, skillful talk with one another. And I'll tell you one thing, right? Because of the ability to talk to one another, the ideas that is conveyed, it connects us. That bridge is open up. That bridge is widened up. The bridge becomes, a multi-lane traffic whereby if left lane doesn't work, go to the middle lane. If middle lane doesn't work, go to the right lane, right? We are able to shift our dialogue, change our conversation, and shape the culture that we want here. So what did we do? A couple months ago, I decided to get the whole entire team to be accredited, as Soundwave coaches here, right? So today, my team, every one of them, they are accredited Soundwave coach practitioners here. And that's pretty amazing because now we know something about ourselves that we previously wouldn't have known. And what COVID-19, this era has given us is the opportunity to really dive right in to do something like this. And last but not least is the product, right? Build your bridge product. Listen to your customers. When COVID lockdown happened, right? I was really quite sad because I realized that whatever we have taken years to develop in our business, they no longer could be useful in the way it is. Everything has to be redesigned. Everything has to be reinvented. Everything has to be recast, right? And that took a lot of work. But this is exactly what it is. To restart your workplace culture again, you must be prepared to slaughter your sacred cows. You must be prepared to give up, your heartfelt expectation and begin to listen to the heartbeat, listen to the call, listen to the demand of your customers, and began to design experiences, right, that caters to the needs of your customers. I mean, I'm in a training company here, and today people are asking me, can you do a workshop live at the same time connected to another class, down at the next building, and then with another 20, 35 people that's splattered all over the world? My gosh, if you asked me this 5 months ago, I said I can't do this. But if you ask me today, can I do this? Absolutely spot on. We can do this today because we've been spending so much time trying to develop that product here. So listen to your customer, build that bridge so that you can have that through flow of connection between you and the customers here. So that's it. These are the 3 things that you can do to really restart your workplace culture. Clear your bridge, upgrade your bridge, and build your bridge around the 5 P's here, which is your purpose, your people, your place, your process, and your product here. So before I end, just a quick reminder. Remember the 2 my story? One struggled and gave up and drowned in a bowl of cream. But the other one kept trying new things, kept trying, new strokes, kept trying new directions. And very soon enough, that bowl of cream became butter and it climbed back out. So with that, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for staying this half an hour with me and my team here, and I really hope to see you guys next week, which is not next week. I hope to see you guys 2 weeks from now on Tuesday for our 3rd talk in this series here, right, which is about reframing the purpose of the individuals and the organization. So watch out for your emails, tell your friends all about this, and I hope to see everybody soon in 2 weeks time. And I apologize for those who are in Facebook here. I did not acknowledge you. I apologize for that. I was so excited about this whole talk. I totally forgot that we are live streaming on 2 platforms here. So Facebook friends, thank you very much for coming. Really appreciate it. I hope that you guys turn back up again, right? So with that, ladies and gentlemen, take care. Bye. See you guys. Take care.
Try this a new way. I'm gonna show you the tricks that I know. I'm getting tired of talking, and I need more of a show right now. It's time that you made your mind up, 'cause lately all it ever does is change. Feels like we're only talking